your monthly channeled oracle reading for the month of October 2015. Hello, little hawks. So we're coming out of September, going into October, one of the most colorful months in North America anyways. The colors are just unbelievable come October, so I can't wait for this month. It's normally one of my most favorite months. We know we've learned that July is not my favorite month, but October is my favorite month. And the reason I just mention these things is because usually before we go get my spirit guide, Whitehawk, whom I adore and love to death, and always wonder what I did before I met him to channel our monthly reading, I usually touch back on the previous month or just jibber jabber. That's me, that's it. The gift of gab. All right, so September was an interesting monthly reading because Whitehawk was really, you know, inviting us to come often to the trough to feed, meaning come often to these videos to learn, to feel the wisdom, to get to know me, to get to know him as teachers. And the more often you come, the more you're going to learn, the more you're going to understand, and the more you're going to connect with us. Because he was noting how you can't go from here to here with wisdom. You have to do all the in-between work as well. So it can't be scattered, right? You know, scattered is, scattered does, if I can borrow from Gump there. What's his name? Oh, that movie with Tom Hanks. You know. Stupid is, stupid does once. So I'm going to say scattered is, scattered does. So come off and you'll get your intel that you can learn from with your wisdom to help you with your intuition, which helps in personal, business, relationships. I mean, it just helps in life. It is probably the sharpest knife in your toolbox, let's just say, your intuition is. So coming here, just think of it as sharpening that tool more and more. It's another metaphor, another analogy. That is what intuition comes across as often. Okay, so I hope you did pick up in coming more often. So that was September. Let's see what October holds for us. I'm going to yawn, sorry. Sorry, I'm just loosening up and getting rid of all the ickiness that perhaps came from a previous reading or what I was doing previous, allowing for Whitehawk to come through. Indeed, little ones, just let it go. He says, get rid of it, shake it up, he says. He says, for indeed, by letting it go, you're allowing for the new to come forth, he says. And so this is what you're kind of seeing this one do in her release of whatever tension she's holding in her body, whatever it is that she's holding in her body. For if we think of our body as a sponge, then perhaps we can think of it more accurately, knowing that your body does absorb energy just as a sponge will absorb liquids. And so the more liquids, energy you absorb into the body, well, the more you have to actually release it and clean it. And he says, and so if you think of releases in the form of yawns, resting, sweating, flatulence, they are all releases, and they're all good releases because they're releasing the toxins that are in your body, whether it be poisons that have come from people that have been around you where you've absorbed their negative energy, or where it be that you've been in a very shocking situation or traumatic situation. You need to release that in your system. And in doing so, these are ways that you can release, he says. And water is a very good source as well for releasing. So to drink water is to then, he says, allow it to flow out. So to go pee, that's me saying that, is another great way of releasing toxins, he says. And there are many other ways we release toxins in our body. He says if you think of rashes, rashes are another way in which we release toxins. And I'm not telling you that once you get a rash to not go and have it qualified as being a rash not to worry about, for indeed I am not. I'm simply saying it is a way that we release things from within our system that are bothering us, whether it be anxiety, whether it be stress. Our body is going to tell us some way. And so a rash is one way in which we can release things. But he says, I cannot quantify that for you or qualify it for you, so you must go have it checked. Now, he says, we do have a visitor who has chosen to come to be a part of this reading. And many of you will know him as Jesus. But Tracy and I fondly refer to him as JC. So let's check in with JC. So there he is. And he comes and he's always happy. Always happy. And he has his lovely golden brown hair right down to about here. And he's wearing his white robe and a rope tied around the robe. And his Jesus sandals. And he's smiling and he's bopping and he comes to us. And oftentimes when we're in these readings, you can always know the setting is outside. You know, we're always like in a forest, and in this case we were by a forest or beachfront with the forest behind it. And funny enough, when he does come today, so I keep seeing a rock, there is a rock, and he comes and he sits down on this rock, and he invites us all, and to him we are his children, and so he invites us all to go and sit with him. And he's so pleased to be around us. He loves our energy so much. Children have just some of the lightest energy and loving energy. And he is talking to us. It is not apparent to me what he is saying at this moment, but there's just so much love and so much joy that he is sharing with us. And we listen intently and we love him so dearly. And we just love being around him so much. And so then it's almost like we tap into what he's saying. And he says, indeed, children, he says, this month we're going to do our best to get out there and we're going to hold the stability of the world, he says, because we can do it, because we are the world, we are the love, we are the light. And we can hold the stability, he says. We can show people that this is how it is meant to be done, despite their wrongdoings. And he says we do not take a position where we are telling them that they are wrong. We do not take a position that is aggressive, but we just go on with our own lives. And in doing so, despite what it is they're doing, and although what we're doing is probably very opposite to what they're doing, we just continue on gently, without a word, without mocking, anything. We are just holding the stability of the world by being us and not having to fit in to the world, to what they are doing. So do you see, children? So despite if someone is acting inappropriately, if someone is sinning, if someone is not carrying the light, that's where we come in. And we carry the light quietly, and we just continue to do what we always do in our life. And I assure you, you think, well, Father, what good is this doing? How would that then show these people that what they're doing is wrong? He says, you think no one is noticing, but there are the few. It may not be everyone, but there are the few. And those few make all the difference in the world, because then they will have seen that you hold the stability, carry the light, and in another situation that will give them the courage to to hold the stability, and to carry the light. So do you see, children, how it works? And they're like, oh yes, Father, we do. But sometimes, Father, it is very difficult. He says, I'm not saying that it is not difficult, child. Indeed, it is probably more difficult to be different, to not fit in, to carry the light, to hold the stability. But we can do it in such a way that it is done with grace and it is done with love. And it does not come across as aggressive. So this month, children, you are being asked to hold the stability and to carry the light. Indeed. God bless, children, as He pats each and every one of us, our heads in the circle where we have come to hear Him speak. And then they just go off joking around about other stuff, but He has said His piece. You just want to sit with Him and never leave, you know? He just has so much. Those are the people you just feel so great around, right? You would never want to leave His side, guys, if He was ever here on earth again. You just wouldn't. He just has that magnetism. Thank you. Thank you, Whitehawk. Thank you. And JC. Oh, I love when he comes. Just the two of them. You know, they hold so much warmth and so much love. It's just so amazing. I'd like to meet a person like that in the physical world. I always say that to them. I'm always like, come on, can you bring me someone like you in the physical world? I guess that would be my dog, huh? Probably. It's probably your pets. That's why He probably gives us our pets. Guys, love you all for always joining me here. If you enjoyed what you've seen here, give me a thumbs up. Join me on social media for Whitehawk's daily wisdom. And don't forget, if you want Whitehawk's personal wisdom for yourself, join us at intuitivetracyroy.com and book your reading. God bless.